Alright guys, so we're going to be replacing the stock triple with the Woodcraft triple and Bonamici clip-ons. This should be a very easy install, but it might end up being a little tricky because you know there are a lot of red Loctite in it and these Torx screws. So we're not going to start with these. We're going to start with the bar ends first and work our way in to the stem screw here. Alright. Bar ends, we're going to use a 4mm hex. Obviously if this is screwed too tight, you might have to use a hex bit with a ratchet. But I actually started here so it's coming off easy. There we go. One out, keep this. So to loosen this, there's a trick for this. We have to remove the brake, the master cylinder. We're gonna place it here, and then we're gonna create space between this and this to unscrew it. So I'll show you how to do this right now. All right. To remove the master cylinder, we need a 8mm for these two screws. Get them loose enough that you can remove them by hand. And hold the master cylinder. I want that to tip. The brake fluid get air in it, because then you're gonna have to bleed the brakes. So to avoid that, I'm actually gonna use some duct tape over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it here. Okay, remove it and just place it underneath the fairing here. There you go. That will keep it safe over there so you don't tip it over. Alright, so next step will be to loosen these two, the throttle and wherever this is called. Controls the lights and everything. So this is a T25 Torx, and it's underneath actually come from here so you can see it. So this is a T25 and I have to loosen it just enough, not completely, just enough that it's loose here so you can push it straight. The reason you want to push this there is so you can push the throttle to the front. This is actually a T20. Yep, screw for here. So once it's loose enough, you push it here, tighten it a little bit, stay in place. You're gonna use an 18mm wrench for this, and a T50 for the Torx over here. T50 for this. Right. Alright, so you're gonna use an 18mm to hold this. And you're gonna use a T50 for this Torx. Okay, these are really tight in. So go slow because you don't want to strip them. They're really tight. So this is gonna take a while, because as you can see, you wrench and you wrench, and it doesn't come off. So I actually want to try something. Let me see. Pause it. Okay, so this is on to save time. If you don't have one, torque wrench, an impact wrench, it's fine. But I just want to save time with this, so I'm gonna give it a try. Much better. See, this only took me 4 seconds. Totally good. Right now, we're gonna move to the next one and remove that one. Now we're just gonna leave this loose here for now, because this way we can actually remove this, but not yet. Let's go to the next one. Again, 4mm hex for the bar end. Alright. Okay, so normally you need a like an air compressor to remove this, but I will try and remove it by hand. Let's see. Actually, what I'm gonna do is remove the clots first. I will do the same thing that I did to the throttle. So once you have it loose enough, push it all the way down there, and then we're gonna loosen this, which is also a T25. See? There you go. Push it up to the front there. That way we create leverage so we can grab the grip. Now let's see if this is gonna work. Holy, whew. Okay, that was crazy. No air compressor, but I was able to pull it off. Wow, okay, this is off. So let's try to remove the whole clip-on to remove these. Okay, same thing before. Just gonna go straight with the ratchet. Okay, normally guys, you should not use an impact wrench, because if there's too much red Loctite in there, you can actually strip the bolt. So this is actually a little easier than the other one. It's actually way easier than the other one. I'm actually probably not gonna remove the other one. Even the impact wrench struggled with this one on the right, which is telling me that there's a lot of red Loctite in there. So normally what you need to do is remove these, remove them completely, and use a torch and heat this part here in the bolt to break loose the red Loctite. And what you should be doing actually is while you're unscrewing, screw back in and unscrew, and screw back in and unscrew again while you hit it, and eventually it will come off. I think we're loose enough. Almost. There you go. Okay. See, in this one, there's not enough. Just a little bit of red Loctite. But I bet on the other one, there's a lot. So I'm not gonna even bother removing the other one. So here, now we're all out with this clip on. I'm gonna remove the clutch. I'm gonna remove this one here. All right. Let's set this aside and we're good. Okay, now that we removed one clip-on, we can actually remove the rest. I'm not gonna even bother with this. This is way too tight. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I actually don't have a torch right now to even heat this up, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna go remove these two hex bolts here. They're both 6mm hex. There we go. One, two, over here. You don't need to remove these bolts completely, just loosen them enough so we can remove the triple. Okay, they're loose enough. Now we're going to remove the middle stem, whatever this is called. Okay, so to remove this middle stem nut, we're going to need 26mm. And a breaker bar. What goes here? Okay, there's a washer underneath here. You're gonna reuse this. You're gonna reuse the stem, but I'm actually going to use a different one. I'm not going to use this one, but I'm still going to use the washer, so keep both. All right. Okay, so now this should be loose enough to remove. Okay, it's in there a little tight, but go slow and it's gonna come off. And you actually have to come from here. As you lift it, you can remove the throttle. Needs to be loosened a little more. This is off. Alright. This is out. Alright, now we're gonna install the clip-ons first, the Bonamici. But before you install them, you will thread parts first. Control second. And then insert it here. Just leave it in place for now. Let's go put the right one. And we're gonna come to adjust everything here before we put the triple clamp. Okay. Same thing with this. Just thread everything in. Right here. Okay, we're gonna install. Now we can remove the master cylinder. Right there. Kept in place, safe. Don't forget, this is up. This goes up. You just need to insert these in place and adjust later. So all these need to be adjusted. Throttle, the brake, the clutch. So don't tighten, just put them in place. Tighten it some more. Okay. Now let's go put a triple. So from all this job, the most difficult part is to remove the stock triple clamp. Once everything's removed, this is the easiest thing to do. I'll give you one tip about the master cylinder because you'll need to know something about it, and I'll show you what I did to be able to clear the fairings once I install this first. So it needs to be loose a little bit. Make sure these are loose enough so I can go in place. Rubber up mullet and just seated. Okay. So before you even tighten these, first insert this so that can push it into place before you tighten this too. But we're actually not going to use this stock one. I bought an aftermarket that I'm going to show you right now. So I'm reusing the washer. So this is actually a 28. This aftermarket one is a 28 12 point. Don't tighten this too much yet. Just a little bit so I can push it down in place. Tighten by hand. Okay, this is 6 millimeter. 6 millimeter for these two. We're not gonna torque them yet. Just tighten them a little bit in place. There, that's enough. We're gonna torque everything later, all together. Okay, so the master cylinder on the stock triple, it was actually lower, so you can clear the fairing. So once I installed triple, the Woodcraft and the Bonamici clip-ons, the master cylinder would actually hit over here on the triple, over here. It wouldn't clear this, so I had to lift this one up. And the way you do it is you grab it from here, this bracket over here, and just push it up like this and bend it a little bit. Bend it up so it can clear the triple. That's all you need to do. Just bend the bracket that holds the master cylinder just a little bit up, and then it will clear this. Because the way it is in the stock, it's not going to clear the Woodcraft aftermarket triple with the Bonamici clip-ons. Alright, so now for the clip-ons, it has 2 screws underneath that are 5mm hex. So it's gonna barely get a little tight, so we can start adjusting just by hand a little bit. See, yeah, see that's just enough so you can actually position the clip-on where you need. Let's do the same for the other side. Also make sure that when you tighten clip-ons, this is all the way up, touching the triple, because it's not going to clear the fairing. Okay, there we go. Okay, the hard part was to remove the grip. Good thing is it's gonna be easy to reinstall it. So once everything is in place, before you torque everything, you need to adjust the position of your brake lever and your clutch. And you need to make sure that the angle of the clip-ons doesn't touch the tank, and also clears the fairing in the front. The way I like to do that is actually find bare minimum space before this clip-on touches the tank, and bring it as close as possible over here. There. And then I'll push to the front, not from the clip-on, from the triple. Make sure that the brake clears here. So the brake, then there's space there. There we go. So it clears there. Turn it again. It clears from the tank. So once you find the position, turn it, and then you torque these. Do the same for the left, and then you need to adjust the height of the levers, the clutch lever and the brake lever. Okay, one more thing when it comes to adjusting everything. Since we dropped the clip-ons down, the master cylinder brake line is not clearing the fairing. So what we need to do is with a 12mm wrench, we need to loosen the brake line. Okay, Okay, so you just need to unscrew this just a little bit to bring it in place, and then you can push the brake line closer to the fork, and then make sure you tighten back in place. So as you tighten it, it's gonna bring the brake line closer to the fork. So now it clears. There you go. So brake line comes in between there and it clears. It clears from the front. There you go. So I'm gonna use the right clip-on as reference to adjust the left one, because obviously you can't perform the same setup that you did here in the right clip-on, because there's more thickness in these controls rather than the throttle. So if you go based on this alone, it's not going to be straight. So you're going to have to use this as reference. Usually what I prefer to do is just come above it and just push it into place and visually check it. I mean, I know that's not going to be to the degree, to the absolute degree, but it's gonna be fine. And then you push it, see if it clears. So another thing you have to make sure here is when it hits the tank, make sure it actually doesn't, the horn, the button for the horn, it doesn't hit in, because when you make like U-turns and stuff, you're gonna be hitting this horn. So we're clear here, it's not hitting. So now we're good to go and torque all the bolts in place. All right, once you have everything in place, you're gonna torque the 2 screws of the clip-ons, 2 here, 2 from the other side. The Bonamici, they are at, they're saying between 10 and 12 Newton meters. So I'm around 11, I would say. So let's see. Here. Torqued. Trust me, these barely need any torque. Literally 11 Newton meters, and that's all that you're ever gonna need. The thing is, when you torque the one, the other loses torque. So you have to go from one to another. There we go. So we're all torqued with these. Now we're gonna torque the ones for the triple clamp. There's one here and one here. And these are recommended at 17 foot-pounds. So for 17 foot-pounds, it's actually 204 inch-pounds. So let's set that to 204. And clip-ons again were 5mm hex. And the triple clamp is 6mm. Torqued. We're going to torque the other side. That's it. 17 foot-pounds, 17 foot-pounds. For the triple, 10 to 12 Newton meters for the clip-ons. All right, now last thing. Once you adjust everything, we have to torque this stem at 100 Newton meters. So for our new stem, 12 point, 28 millimeters. torque it at 100 Newton meters. Torque this, we have to bring it over this. There we go. Make sure you hold this down because there's not enough height, and if you cross thread and you hit it, you're gonna destroy your tank. So once you put in place, hold this down and torque. There you go, 100 Newton meters. All right, and then to finish it up, CNC erasing. And we're gonna put the hex screw in here to cover it. All right, we're all good, we're all set. All right guys, we're all done with the triple and the Bonamici clip-ons, Woodcraft triple. I would say this is fairly easy to install. Probably more work to remove the stock than it is to install the new one. You could spend a lot of time trying to figure this out initially, so this will actually help you a lot, knowing that you can adjust the bracket to clear the new triple here, and adjusting the brake line so it can clear the fairings. Other than that, it's I'd say it's an easy install. Little bit tedious, but easy install. All you need to do is make sure that you adjust everything perfect, clutch, brake lever, make sure everything is correct. Take your time on this before you take a ride. Make sure that everything's fine. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you like my videos. It helps me make more videos. I have a lot of updates coming up, new mods, a lot of things about the RS660. So yeah, liking and subscribing actually helps me make more videos. So yeah, thanks for watching and peace.